just share it real quick though.
Yep, so we're good.
Oh, that shit look beautiful.
It's beautiful. Alright, let's go. No, let's go. People don't want to wait.
What's going on, guys? This is another episode of the With All Respect podcast. Um, this is going to be somewhat of a difficult episode because I'm sure a lot of people have their feelings towards what has been going on as of late. We're going to do our best to try and get it all out as clearly, calmly, and respectfully as possible, even though the name is with all disrespect. I think on this one we got to kind of let voices be heard all together, all around. We have myself, the regular crew, and we have a couple people that are going to be joining us throughout the podcast. We are live on Zoom too, so if you would like to come and throw in a couple words or whatever, you can message us and we'll send you the information. We just ask you come in and be as respectful as you can for others' opinions too. But with that being said, let's get it started. Yeah, so you
Ready?
can. Am I doing too much too fast?
No, I'm just making
Like a
sure.
superstar.
You are a superstar. Alright.
All right. So you gonna unmute everybody.
Alrighty.
All right. So can everybody hear me?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully
We can
everybody can hear you guys. Let me actually step away for 2 seconds.
Make sure. Yeah. Alright, who wants to begin?
Alright, alright, let's just start from the beginning.
Quick rundown on what's going on.
Yeah, I believe it was Thursday morning. I woke up to a friend of mine. Well, first off, it was an inbox. It was an inbox that my mother sent me of this lady fighting with an officer. It looked like she was literally fighting for her life. He shot her, and then later on, I get a message about maybe 20 minutes later from a friend of mine, and it's this George Floyd video. And I mean, I was outraged already because of the video that I saw with the woman that I sent to you guys. I sent it to you and Derek, completely with James too.
It was
And I was like, she was fighting for her life. Yeah, it's like she's literally fighting for her life in this video. She gets shot, and then later on I see this video, and this dude literally, even like it's like 50 seconds before he dies, or before he's not non-verbal anymore, because he's still like doing this thing like a fish with their mouth, like, and he's like, sir, please, I can't breathe. Can you remove your knee from my neck? Like, he's polite the whole time, and then it's like the Asian officer says, calm down. He calms down. He's not talking anymore, and all you see is the officer staring the death at his, like the light at his body. That discouraged me. I can't, like, I don't think there's any words to put to it how like how mad I am. Like, it's complete and utter bullshit. Like, you don't do that to people.
Yo, this stuff happens so often. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, this video is like recirculating again. And then I was like, oh, this is a whole nother new situation again. Like, they still haven't gotten removed the meats to them. Like,
Yeah, like,
how often is this shit gonna happen before they get rid of that? Like, this shit, it was like the same timeline for me with Corey. But, like I said, like, Corey just sent me the chick fighting the cop, and then this incident happens. But I'm like, oh, like, why are they bringing this back up? Is it like the anniversary or something? And then I'm like reading into it, and I'm like, oh, this
Share
is
the link on that.
another murder.
No.
Like, and they're so comfortable doing it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say is one of the things that I'm starting to like really have a hard time with, just taking a respectful approach with it, is that just a complete disregard. Like, just in general, if you are in a physical altercation with somebody, holding them down for more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then for it to be that you were holding him down and restricting his airway for 9 minutes. That 9 minutes is not something that you can justify. It's not something that you can. What happened?
Chris said he can't hear.
Oh, I was able to hear when I checked.
All right, go ahead.
I feel like when we start talking about it, it's just a blatant disregard for the life, and it's hard not to say, like, a lot of the time what I keep getting is people saying like, oh, but what if it was a black cop to a white person? No, stop that, stop that bullshit, because all you're doing is you're diminishing the loss of a life that's happened in our history for so long. Like America, we come from ugly, bro. Like, let's not pretend.
The past has shown it don't happen to white people like that.
But every time.
Hey, let's.
You see it. It's the dude, the fucking Wendy's. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Burger King.
Yeah. No.
Okay, he can't even see his kids. This dude's dead. And you want to complain? What if? No, but let's not talk about what ifs.
But the what if happens every single time when
The
it's
what if
happens.
that's the argument's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have those what if arguments anymore because it's not happening like that.
Did we do a rundown of the actual, like, what happened?
Like,
Kind of.
like Derek said, it's a blatant disregard. When you say what if, you're like,
Oh, speaking of
Speaking of,
Becca's like, fuck that word.
like, come on.
That was literally a person on a thread on Facebook that I called it. Someone had posted a clip of part of the speech that Jr. had made that says riots are the
Timer.
The voice
we got it.
yes, are the voice of the African. And he responded, and no, it's true. You might not want to admit it because all you want to do is focus on the fact that people are rioting, but it is true.
Is she cutting in and out for you guys too?
Is your window open? Or
Yes.
or a fan? Yeah, you're cutting in and out. I think the wind.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
You're good. I don't want you to suffocate. So.
No, because you're making a very good point, and I can see where this is going, and it needs to be heard.
It does because people just want focus on what they want to don't want to what the actual root of the issue. Because the fact of the matter is, if people would listen to people protest and people would listen to everything that's been said for hundreds of years and would open their eyes and admit to what's going on, these riots would not have a reason to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, but to admit it for them is like, oh, that comfortable system that we believe works, because, you know, the justice system does work. No, it does not. Not
No.
the way you want it to. Like, the way you like.
Not the way we want it to. It works
Hey.
the way like those.
James, turn your phone down, please.
Yeah, and they're afraid of it changing because then it won't work for them.
Exactly.
So-
Because then it's these crimes are made for everybody. You know what I mean? Not everybody gets hit with these crimes. It's almost like what I say about when the judges and the rape thing. If you convict somebody and tell you, hey, you got to put 10 years in your rape, that means that when the judge does it, he has to get 10 years. That's why he's not going to give a harsh sentence. It's
All
the
right.
same thing almost. It's less than, like that whole rape thing is less than what we're going to because they're not killing the rape.
Yo, I'm going blind, bro. Can I use your glasses?
No.
And you know what? I'm wrong. The system works exactly how it's supposed to work. Keep these former slaves in check. That's how it works. They got a little taste of freedom, and now they think they are equal to us. Let's make the system so they can never be.
Guys, all right. So I love where we're going with this. I need somebody to take it and just give a general or a basic rundown of exactly what happened to George from start to finish, situation-wise. So we have not a timeline, but a scenario, because everybody basically.
I saw the video where he was pulled over, so I don't know if you guys saw that, but I can start from there.
You can start from there because like the basics of the situation. We want what led to him getting arrested and what transpired in the arrest or during the arrest.
So in the video, you see him being pulled over. The cops are talking to him. I think It's not nothing like aggressive or trying to get away, but it does look like he's off balance, and to somebody who's not familiar with being in cuffs, it would look like he could be resisting. But then, to get him on the wall, cuff him, he's talking to the police officer while he's behind him, so it's like this. If you want to call that resisting, that's not resisting. They walk him to the police car where the video that we see clips on. But in the CCTV video, you don't see him being taken to the ground. I didn't see him taken to the ground. I saw him being like close to us and then being taken across the street. That police car is where he was tackled from. So it says that it took 3 police officers to put cuffs on him. And then he was taken to the ground by 3 police officers, and then that one officer just stayed on top of him. It was the Asian police officer and then one other white police officer. They said was the ones that took him down. The video cuts in, and there's a whole bunch of yelling.
Yo, I thought that was Spanish.
Rightfully so. Yeah. So I don't know. Like I don't know how to explain the video.
So, all right. So I'm sorry to cut you off, but I from what I heard, because I talked to our uncle who actually knows him or knew him. He had told me that the reason that the cops were originally or initially called was because he went to a store, and the store that he went to, he tried to pay, but it was a counterfeit bill, and that's why the cops were called initially.
Forgery.
Now, for forgery. Now, forgery, yeah, you get arrested and you go, but that's a non-violent offense.
It's a blue collar crime. It's a
You know what I'm saying? It's a non-violent offense. So you approach this man, you make your arrest already because he was in handcuffs throughout from the damn near the start of the video. He's in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Now, let's do this walkthrough. So he goes to the store, see, look at me, I'm taking over and I didn't even want to. Shit. So he goes to the store, he goes to pay. Now, from what I heard, that store is the hot block store too. So it's like, it's the ins and outs. You don't really get to pick and choose when you want to be a law-abiding citizen, right? You should have just turned them away like you probably would have done with whoever else coming out of that store. Now, I'm only saying this because I had the sit-down conversation for like about an hour and a half, where we were just talking about, what kind of duty was, like what happened and like what's going on out in the area of, it's Minnesota, right? Yeah. So, while we were talking, he was telling me like that store is known to be a gang front of a store. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, cool. That's good information to have in general to like kind of build like the area that it is, right? So when you made that call, you should have known that when the police come, they're already going to be coming to an area that they know could be dangerous. You know what I mean? Like they're going to come with their mindset of, I'm going to go in and fuck some shit up. So they arrest the guy. From what I heard, when he got arrested, they just were able to. Well, sorry. When they detained him, there was really no physical like resisting or fighting. They already got him in cuffs. So they put him in cuffs, and then I don't even know how they ended up under the car. I thought he had fell and hit his head, and that's why he was down on the ground. I didn't even know he was handcuffed at first.
Yeah, he was handcuffed before he got to that car. They walked him across the street to that car in cuffs.
So see, that's where I'm like, that's where it.
Wait, but once he's cuffed, no matter how he ended up on the floor, their responsibility is to make sure he doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's in custody now.
Yeah.
Right. So they already started up. They already fucked up from the beginning.
Yeah. No, we already agree that there was a lot of errors and mistakes made, right? Now we're gonna start talking about it where it's gonna start to get to the systematic part of things. It's gonna start getting to the part where does race take part in this? Does it play a role? And a lot of the time we might think like, oh, give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Even if we do that, we have to acknowledge that the history of America is already against people that look different, like that are of brown descent. And it's not only just black, but in this case, we have to let it be that, black men, black people count. We matter. Stop fucking killing us.
And let's be honest, when it comes to the law, race has always got to be taken into it.
Well, 100%. That's what I'm saying. The country was founded off of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, just think about it. Like the cops have
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was called
Jim
slave
Crow.
patrol.
Jim Crow. Who'd you call when a white person was when a black person was drinking out of a white fountain? You called the cops.
Yep.
Right. So before
When the black people were in your store, you called the cops. Like that's what their job has always been. It's always been to come and put the blacks in line.
Yep.
So when your system is built off of that, like of course when the law enforcement comes in, you gotta go, what color was he? You have to. You're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. You're putting yourself in jeopardy. Being black is exhausting enough. At least know the threats.
Yeah. So, like, in this situation, like, a lot of the comments and stuff that I'm seeing, people are not justifying, but they're just like, you know, like, oh, but what did he do? Like, I'm tired of the whole fucking smear campaign that's being thrown out. And we gotta, like, acknowledge, like, yo, it's the media from the start, right? But the videos that we're putting out that are showing us being murdered or people being murdered or the police abusing their power are being showed by us people, like the United States citizens or people in the United States. It doesn't even matter your status. We are the people should be our news source. Stop letting the people who have their fucking hands in the pot be the ones to stir.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because all they're doing is creating more racial tension and shit like that. But we like, for me, I'm not gonna lie. Like when motherfuckers started rioting, 100%, I was like, yo, I agree, but direct it to the right place. Like Killer Mike, I swear to God, that guy is literally like, he is wise beyond his years.
He's the one I listen to.
You need.
Did you hear what he said in the press conference?
Yeah, I was listening, but let me say this real quick. He said you need to do it at a city level. Whenever you want change, do it at your town halls. Do it at your city meetings and all that. But when it came to the rioting and stuff, he was quick to say, we're angry, we're mad. You have every right to riot, but do it at the right place and the right time. Do not destroy your own city where it's your people. You're destroying your people's stuff. You take it to legislation. You take it to like the city halls. You take it to you take it to the state houses. Take it to the police station. Those are who you hit. You hit them where that shit's gonna hit their pocket.
That's what I was telling you the other day, Corey. You hit them in a financial level.
Well, no, because like if you think about it, I'm saying wherever these like the people who are like, you know, the governors and stuff, go to their place where they go sit in their office, and you fuck that shit up.
Yeah.
That's what you need to be doing. Because, and you know, people were like, oh, if you got a business, you should have insurance and stuff. No, not everybody got their stuff in line. To be honest, not everybody does. And when you're doing it in the city or in the neighborhood that you reside, there's others like you that also live there. So you.
So here's the thing. That AutoZone does not belong to us.
Huh?
Burn it down.
Say it again?
The AutoZone is not black owned. Burn it down. Anything in that city. This is how I feel when it comes to that rioting shit.
Yep.
Just go off the Killer Mike point.
Good.
You muted.
You got muted. Maybe a phone call?
Maybe.
All right. Well, while Corey figures that out, I want to hear. Hold on, James. Brianna and Rebecca, give us how did you initially feel when you seen it, and what did you first think change wise? Like, what did you think the next move was?
So, when I initially saw it, I saw it on the news, obviously, and they were only showing a very, very short clip of it.
Yep.
And even just from that very short clip,
You was like, they fucked up.
I was literally sick to my stomach. I tell you what I felt. I really can't actually put it into words. But, and it's just gotten worse since then because I've seen the full video. I've seen the video. I've seen and read all these things that the more deep you go into it, the more infuriating it gets. I think part of what makes me so sick about it is the fact that there were 4 cops there. 4.
Yep.
And 1 man in handcuffs. So realistically, what damage could he have done? The fact that people are sitting there and saying, oh, you know, he must have
Yep.
Yeah, the normalcy of it is
Exactly.
It's not. Hold on, James. It's not even about the normalcy in the sense of like the us being like numb to it. But what just got me with what she said is that the joy, like the body language of that man.
That's what I'm talking about.
That-
how normal it was for him to just fucking kill
No,
this man. It didn't. It wasn't like his day changed.
it wasn't. I wouldn't even say normal. I would say how much of a pleasure it was. Like that's not. He was almost. It almost looked like the way because the way he was kneeling. If you guys watched, how many times he looked back and forth to look up the street and then at the people?
Yep.
How many times he do that? And then look down at George. He was looking at him in his face. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. So I think something that really bothers me is the fact that there was 4 police officers there and neither of them did anything to help at all. Even when EMS showed up, they were still where they fucking were. The bigger problem that I have with it is that the fact that apparently, there's more to these cops than just being coworkers. The wife of the cop that was kneeling on George was the Asian cop's brother-in-law. So that should never fucking happen. They should never be on a call together because he's always going to have his back. He's never going to do something to go against him because of his sister. So he's wrong in every fucking sense. I don't care if you thought you were being loyal to your sister's boyfriend or husband or whatever. Your sister's husband just murdered a man in front of you and you could have prevented it and you didn't do shit. So you are just as guilty as him for the murder of George Floyd, and all of you should fucking punish.
I agree. And there were 2 others there as well. I don't know what their relation was, if any. But again, the point is you stood there and watched, which means you're complicit. You're just as guilty. At one point, I don't know if anyone noticed this, but at one point in the video, you can see that not only was the one cop kneeling on his neck, but there was another cop behind him holding him down as well and basically sitting on his back.
wow. Yeah.
It was like, what? And then they're telling him to get in the car.
Yeah, and
I would, but you're on my neck and holding me down, jackass.
the more things that come to light.
Sarah?
She's not here yet.
Oh, I was gonna say just.
So the more things that come into light, so something just popped up too about how, this seems personal. It doesn't seem like George was being erratic and they needed to subdue him. It was something happened in my past with this man. I'm now gonna be the control person. Supposedly, George and the dude that murdered him used to work the same security shifts, so they had a past.
No.
I mean, it seems legit, but it's like, there's obviously motive somewhere.
Yeah, and I haven't seen anything disputing that. Like,
Disputing what?
that they worked together at one point or another.
Yeah.
No?
No, I haven't.
Like, I'm pretty sure if it wasn't true, someone else in the media would have been like, well, there's proof that this didn't happen.
Right. I think they probably did work at the same place. I don't really dispute that, but it's unclear whether they really knew each other. And again, that's not the point. It's neither here nor there. The personal relationship behind it, like, we'll probably never know that for sure. At the end of the day, it comes down to the fact that this white cop kneeled on this black man's neck and enjoyed it the whole time.
Yeah.
While other cops stood there and watched.
Yeah. And people were trying to say, because the cops claimed that George had passed away on his way to the hospital or at the hospital. No, you can clearly see a limp body.
Exactly.
When the EMS arrive and they pick him up, that's the body of like someone unconscious already. That's like for you to hold your knee on his neck for 9 minutes, even if he had like a slight pathway of air.
3 minutes is permanent brain damage.
That's what I'm saying. Like 9 fucking minutes though. 9? That is it's unjustifiable. It's just blatant murder. Now, who knows the charges that the guy was brought in on? And it was only one cop arrested.
3rd-degree murder and manslaughter.
Third degree murder and manslaughter. The only reason why we have to accept this is because you have to prove intent for murder. You have to prove, like, not like, because you know a lot of people are like, oh, it's premeditated. He was thinking about what he was doing. Yeah, but he can easily say I was just adjusting or reacting to the situation. He could say that. Now, we all know that they like to use this fucking thing where they say, I was in fear of my life or my partner's life. Why are you in fear of your life because he was black? The man was already in cuffs. Like, these are the kind of...
Established it was a white collar crime. It was non-violent crime.
Even if he was afraid for his life, okay, even after the first couple of minutes.
There's fucking 4 of y'all. There was 4 cops. Like, what are you afraid of?
Exactly. But this guy is gasping for air. And if you lift your knee and get off of him, what's he going to do? He's going to sit there and catch his breath. He's not going to attack.
Yeah. Exactly. It's just like I hate to be that guy, but it's like I feel strongly enough to say like the rioting and all that stuff. I feel like you need to keep doing it. You need to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Like it needs to happen.
Look, how many times are we gonna turn the other cheek?
Say it again.
Like, I'm tired of turning the other cheek. I'm bruised up. Like, my face is black and blue. Like, there's only so many times we can keep letting people slap us before we go, you know what? I'm gonna hit you back. Maybe to stop. But just, like, we need to hit them where it hurts them, not where it hurts us. Because they're just gonna laugh.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. Is I think you need to just mess everything up. Like we need to. It's one of those things. Like we said, this is systematic. So we can't just do it on such a small scale. We need it to be everybody get mad, everybody uproar together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't care what color, what race, or whatever your reasoning is.
Yeah.
We need to fight injustice. We're not fighting because it was a white cop on a black man. That is, for me, that's the core of the issue.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are like, why has it got to be race related? Okay, so then you as a person realize and acknowledge that there is a system in place to keep a certain group down.
Yeah. And if people really don't think that racism still exists, you are part of the problem. If you are silent right now, you are part of the problem. I don't give a shit if you think that you can't say something or you can't do this. Just by sharing this man's stuff, just by bringing attention to it, that's helping.
Exactly.
That's helping. By you fucking sharing random shit, fucking dogs being lost, your fucking new music thing that you posted, nobody gives a shit about that right now because that's not fucking important.
I also seen someone share some shit and I like lost faith. Like sometimes, and I fucking hate to say this, sometimes like I chalk things up to like fucking white people. Like I just say that, right?
Fair.
But I know when I say it, I don't mean it like as it's like, that's like when we say like, oh, they must be from New York, from Florida. Like it's like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like certain things just fit the bill, right? Mm-hmm. But when I saw some, like I see some of the stuff in the way that they're trying to like diminish or demonize or fucking just like make it like, it doesn't matter. Like what did he do? Okay, so the man who died is the victim, but you're blaming him. Mm-hmm. So as much, and I fucking hate to say this, but you know how much when a woman claims that she was assaulted or something, right? I'd rather 100% error on the side of caution. I'd rather believe her, and then we fix it later however it needs to happen. So why do we never give the benefit of the doubt to the black man that was shot or murdered or hunted down? Why we can't do that?
Yep.
Why can't we just say, yo, there's something here? But instead, and this, even people I hold dear to me, they all say, oh, you don't know the whole story. I don't need to know the whole story right now, because when you had this man in custody, he was not a threat.
Yep.
There's nothing you can tell me, even, and that's why I kept saying, like, I dread this fucking conversation, because I feel like there's so much things that went on or that are going on on so many different layers and levels that nobody is talking about it as a whole. And when we voice that, now we're just pandering to the fucking black-white argument or the black-white narrative. Well, guess what? I am black. Guess what? I have to face this shit every time I go out. Mm-hmm. A friend of mine recently just had a big fucking issue that just happened where someone hit his car. And he goes outside and the cop grabs the gun and says, who's this man? Dude, I'm pulling my stuff, my information for you because this woman hit my shit.
Yep.
But because she was white or whatever, you touch your gun?
Yeah.
Just like explain it to me. Why are you scared of me? I literally went into my passenger seat to go get my registration or whatever it may be, and you pull. That's why I get angry on this shit. That's why sometimes I'm like, fuck it. There's no reason to even sit down and have these conversations over and over when you just end up at the same. Another motherfucker that looked like me is dead.
Exactly.
You know, like, and I don't know. That should just.
And then riots happen. And granted, I'm a light-skinned person. Okay? So let me be very clear when I say that I cannot understand fully what it's like to be discriminated against because of the color of my skin. I can't because I look white. I'm not fully white, but I look white. Okay?
Yep.
Granted, I do remember growing up and the stares whenever I was with my dad. You know, I had my college roommate who started off best of friends till the day my dad and my mom moved me in, and then she cut me off cold turkey, wouldn't talk to me until the end of the semester.
Wow.
Bitch.
So I don't understand all of it. I don't, but I have experienced it to a point,
Yeah.
and it's infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
It is. And anyone that cannot understand it at all, you need to just listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just listen, because this is why riots happen, because no one wants to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
All you want to do is say, well, you're hurting your own point.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I've tried and tried and tried to make the point.
Yep. Well, I've talked.
Peacefully.
We've
Peacefully.
talked. We've pleaded.
We have talked.
All we haven't done, we haven't fucking up, like, it needs to be a coup. It needs to be an uproar.
Exactly. I don't agree with rioting. I think it's wrong. I'm not going to go out there and destroy someone else's property because I'm mad. Not going to do it. But the fact of the matter is, these people that are rioting, they have so much reason to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
People have rioted for so much less.
Yep.
And if you think that, you know, we don't have a right to be angry, or we don't have a right to fight for ourselves in any way that we feel is going to help the situation, then you are a problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think there's no way, right? Because even if people don't watch the news, which is fucking impossible, but like I don't watch the news per se, like on the fucking television, but it's at you on Instagram, it's at you on Facebook, it's at you on your fucking
always in your
ads.
face,
it's
yeah.
everywhere. Like you fucking go to walmart.com, there's an ad about the news. Like it's everywhere. So it's impossible for somebody to say, I didn't see that or I haven't heard about it. You might not be well versed or like know all the details, but regardless, you can see that it's fucked up. And the point, you know, all of these, and most of them have been black men, but a lot of black people are getting gunned down or fucking murdered by police officers for nothing. There have been so many white fucking murderers who actually shot up multiple innocent people and walked out fucking scotch-free, bringing them to go get fucking lunch before they go to jail. Like, all of that is bullshit. There's no way that you just murdered fucking 12 people and I'm gonna gently fucking pat your back, make sure that you're good, and walk away. But then this fucking guy who goes in a store, maybe he knew it was a fake $20 bill, maybe he didn't. But that doesn't fucking justify you putting him on the ground and murdering him for nothing. Yep. That's bullshit. Even if he fucking ran a red light, even if he was resisting, that doesn't give you the right to fucking put your knee on him and he's fucking yelling at you, telling you that he can't breathe. There's no fucking way.
The dude pled, he was pleading for his mother.
He was calling for his fucking mom.
Like,
you think he's a threat?
Come on, bro.
Come on.
Like, what?
You have such little confidence in yourself that you think that fucking this is an act of control, or it makes you a bigger man, because of course, like, he couldn't fucking breathe. He was way bigger than you. He could have easily fucking threw you off of him, but clearly he was struggling.
A lot of F-bombs.
Yeah, because I'm angry.
I'm angry. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, man.
And I think you know, a big thing for me is, yes, I'm white. Everybody fucking knows that I'm white. Yes, I also have Puerto Rican in me as well. I can speak Spanish, so if you want to do this, we can do this. However, I have a black boyfriend. I have a black daughter. Yes, she looks Spanish too, but she's fucking black. And she's going to deal with the same thing. You're not black enough for the black side and you're not white enough for the white side. I'm not playing that bullshit. I don't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, when we get in a car, if he's driving, I'm like, we're gonna get pulled over. 9 times out of 10, we get pulled over. We used to get pulled over all the time, right? For nothing. The cop would be like, well, do I smell weed? Nope, because he's never smoked a day in his life. Next.
My favorite line, no lie, my favorite line when they would ask me that, I'm like, I don't know. Were you smoking? Because I never smoked. So I was like, you can't run that on me. Like,
yeah, and I think it's so fucked up that he has to feel like he can't speak up for his rights because it's going to escalate the situation. And then he also tells me, don't make the matter worse because he's going to be the one to end up getting arrested.
Yep.
That's so fucked up. If I'm the one that's being aggressive, I'm the one who's acting out. Why are you going to put him in handcuffs, or why are you going to, why are you going to act like he's the one who's being aggressive and you're in fear for your life?
And that's the thing, is like, I feel like that's such a cop-out. Because if you're in fear of your life, then that shows me you cannot adequately do your job.
Yeah.
So you should not be part of the force. I think everybody needs to go back into some sort of a military-ish or some sort of a training where America or Americans matter the most. Say it again? Yeah?
The training is for them to be afraid. That's one of the things
No,
they teach.
I understand.
At all points, have your hand on your
Did we
gun.
freeze on Facebook?
And ready. So the training is working. That's the problem.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was gonna say their language, like the training in their languages from the beginning of what do you call that shit? Like the recruiting training or whatever. They use language like justifiable shooting, plausible cause, and things like that, right? Okay. Prove to me that this was justified. And just give me something. Did he have a weapon? Does that matter? Because you already had him in handcuffs. If we're talking like, let's say it was like a physical altercation and someone's face got busted up. Okay, then that shows me you should restrain them. I used to work I'm not saying it's the same as being a police officer, but I used to work in a field where we had to learn restraints. And now we were working or dealing with people that have mental issues. So those, people like that, like they just, boom, they just react and flare up real quick. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't have that second to really think about the issue. You have to just react. But every time, even when we were restrained, they would sit you down and say, walk me through it. And you would have to walk through it like 3 to 4 times. And your story needed to be the same, and it needed to be justified why you were restrained. So with a cop who have a weapon, who has a taser, you have all these other avenues, right? Like, first off, the gun that should be last resort.
All right, real quick, let me jump off real quick.
Go ahead.
How did that, in the career you talk about, how many times did you restrain?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Probably a handful. Like 2, maybe like I can count on 2 hands.
All right, but how many years were you working there?
8, 5.
All right, so 5 years, you barely got a handful.
Well, you got to realize, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
So,
like the restraining, like there were other options before that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You did 5 years, let's say, right?
Yeah.
2 restraints within a year each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For however many people lived in that home.
Do you have the other chat?
So Sarah was saying, how do lawyers have to go to school for several years, understand the law, and 90% of cops only have to do 2 to 3 months in an academy? They didn't learn the law properly. Of course, they won't execute it right either.
Yeah. And that's the thing. There's a lot of these people or these cops are taking it on, and we all have like basic rights as people, right? But when someone takes it in their hand and they become the judge, the jury, and the executioner, you need to pay the to the highest extent of the law. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, and I think we talked about this before, but I feel like if a police officer breaks a law of some sort, they should get hit with the max penalty. Because you're the one who is supposed to enforce that. You're the one who's supposed to say, hey, that's not right. So if you're leading by example like you should be,
exactly, you
need to be held accountable. I'm tired of like all these people like trying to get motherfuckers off, and I think when he lawyered up, he went and got the lawyer that got Philando Castile.
Yep.
That's one.
Yep.
He went and got the lawyer who got that guy off. Yep. So it's like, y'all already know who to go get. Yep. You know who's the guy. Yep. You know, so yeah. Like I think what they were saying though with the manslaughter and murder, what was it, murder 3?
third-degree murder and manslaughter.
And manslaughter.
Yeah.
So I think the manslaughter or one of those charges has a maximum of 25 years. That's where we should start. We should start at 25.
Yeah, but I mean,
Just
like,
what was the girl? Amber Geiger.
that's what I was just gonna say.
She got 10.
There's
She
bullshit.
should have been more towards the 50 to 45 years
Yeah.
to start.
Yeah.
Because you walked into someone else's house.
Exactly.
Now, this one is it's the same same basic situation. What we're talking about, like the same core issue. We could talk about Ahmaud
well, I think it starts before that. I think it starts with the one in the park.
in the park.
Because that causes all of this.
Go ahead. I don't know.
So I don't know if you guys have heard of the Christian Cooper in New York City, the bird guy who was in the park. So all right, so I'll give a quick little thing. So this guy was walking in the park. He is an avid bird watcher, and this white lady had her dog off the leash. So he, yep. So he basically was like, can you put your dog on a leash? It's a public park, whatever. She immediately fucking calls the police and is like, I'm going to tell them that you're African American and I'm afraid for my life. And like, yeah. So she's going off. Shit like that. And, it's all of this stuff, right? The people that were fucking calling the cops on, the black people that were doing the barbecue. Or, the fucking kids not kids, they were grown men in a fucking gym, in a private gym at their fucking office. They're entrepreneurs. There was 3 black men in this gym, and a white guy was like, you guys don't belong here. Show me your badge. I'm calling the cops. You don't belong here. Like, all of this shit leads up to these murders. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is by you allowing this type of shit is the reason why these cops think they can murder a black man and get away with it.
And it's so natural for them. They're like, oh, I'm going to.
Yep. And it's like, exactly. And a lot of people hate this whole fucking Karen, stupid Karen, this bitch Karen. But let's
gotta call it what it is.
But let's be honest.
Karen.
Don't act like a fucking Karen. Fuck it.
No. No, we gotta stop. We can't. That's like masking the word. Let's not mask the word. Call it what it is. You're racist. There's a reason why we're trying to be like, oh, that's Karen. No, forget the hit part.
But you wouldn't call white racist men Karen. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. If you're racist, bro. So yeah. I want to go back and talk about the bird watching one, the gym one. That was a big one to me.
But I was saying, I don't know if you heard me. I was saying that these instances are what leads up to the big one.
Well, hold on. What did you point out to me the other day, timeline wise, with the deaths? So it literally.
So I was just looking, and I was gonna do more research anyways, but literally every fucking month this year alone, there has been a murder,
at least one,
by the police on a black person. There was
of color is fine.
But it was like there was literally freaking February, March, April, May, like you can name them. In February it was Ahmaud Arbery. March was Breonna Taylor. I can't remember April because I was going to do more research. And then now May is George Floyd. Like, what's next? We have another one for June. Are we going to we have to end up, we have to fucking see a pattern and stop it. Like, there's no way that just because we haven't heard about fucking, Trayvon Martin and Eric Gardner in fucking a long time, all of those deaths still matter and still, feed the anger. All of those stuff, you can't forget about all of the other ones. Whether or not the police were tried or not, it still shouldn't have happened.
Yep. Well, that's the thing is, we're not doing enough to... Well, I'm sorry. Who was that? You go ahead.
Becca.
Well, I was going to say, Brianna, you said whether or not they're being prosecuted or not. That is such a huge part of this.
Yep.
I mean, the one prosecuted, those are, I don't want to say more important, but it's like, we have to keep fighting for that too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, you can't be tried for the same crime twice, but it's like, something has to be done. It has to be done. Because, I mean, what's her face? Alice? Is that who it was? In the Cooper video?
Amy,
whatever.
same shit.
What did she get?
Hold on, wait. Both of their last name is Cooper?
Yeah. And they
Oh,
said
that's
they're
funny.
not related.
No relation. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Right. Big deal. Calling the cops for a false report is a crime.
That's a
Yeah.
crime. Yep.
So,
Nope.
murder is a crime. And yet that cop didn't get arrested right away. He got arrested 4 days later.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
something.
I mean, the
I did-
prosecutions are little victories.
Yeah.
You know, but the war is still, it's a war.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Anyone else did that, they would have been in handcuffs right then.
Yeah.
Right then. Yep.
And I did mention to Derek about because a lot of people are pissed that it took him 4 days to get arrested, which everyone should be.
Other three.
Yeah. The only which is it's what I'm about to say is fucked up either way, and that proves the injustice in our system. The fact that this police officer knew who to go get to give him his best shot to get acquitted, the prosecution was probably like, don't pull him in yet because we don't have solid fucking evidence. We have to make sure we dot our I's, cross our T's so that he cannot get off. That's the only benefit of the doubt that I could give the prosecution.
That's why they went for murder 3 and
yeah.
manslaughter, because if it was anything more, they could always say like you grossly overcharged,
Yeah,
and then
because
it's gonna get dismissed or
Exactly.
bounced. Now, go ahead.
If it's reversed. They don't have to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
You're
'Cause
right.
all you have to do is just or give me plausible, like reasonable reason of your actions. That's it. I just need to understand why you was it a good shooting. Just help me say, oh,
Yeah.
it was a verified shooting.
Let's bring this back a little bit, right? Because you're right. They don't,
Who's they?
The system. The system says, you're innocent until proven guilty, but we know that that's false. They arrest you, accuse you, and you have to prove that you're innocent. So all of these fucking people who have gone to jail for 30, 40, 50 years for crimes they did not fucking commit is bullshit when we have you on fucking camera murdering a fucking person. It's bullshit. It's bullshit that there are people locked up who did not commit these fucking crimes and have been in there for 30 years trying to prove their innocence. It's bullshit.
That's because we've been watching the Innocence Files.
We have, but still.
Yeah.
Angry.
Well, no,
Angry white woman.
Uh-oh.
I mean, the system is so corrupted. In some southern states, you're supposed to have a jury of your peers.
Mm-hmm.
So why am I a black man being peered by, my peers are all these white old men?
Or women. No, most of the time they go for white women.
Yep.
White women are raised to be afraid of black men.
America, the world at this point.
Except for this one, she likes it.
Oh, relax.
He says that he pumps up his
Yo, I'm like over here. I'm like about to choke and shit. Like, chill out. Okay. We're gonna go back to the whole Karen thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't like the term because we're just masking or trying to make the word racist hip. No, you're racist. Keep it the same word so that it's the go-to regardless of who I'm talking to. The verbiage, the what's that word I'm looking for? I can't think.
What?
No, I'm saying like the verbiage or the way I'm trying to say it to you, regardless of how I say it, you know what I mean when I say racist. I'm not saying Karen.
ugly word.
Yeah. So
The whole Karen thing too is, I mean, yes, you can use it to describe a race person. You shouldn't, because you just call it what it is. But I thought it started because these old white women. No offense to old white women that don't do this, but they're just ignorant and rude and
Don't mind their business.
your manager when they, more like.
what the hell?
Hold on.
Now
Was that-
people are
was that
turning it
Corey?
into a race, but it's like all it's doing is making a joke of issues that are serious.
Exactly. And let's not pretend like when these people make these calls, they don't know what comes next.
Oh, they absolutely know.
That's a problem. You know what comes next, and you make this call. The worst thing is when they show you outright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them that you're African American. I'm gonna say you're a black man. So you know what comes next if you make this fucking phone call.
Yep, and it's not fair that if he was to call the cops and say, there is a white lady here who doesn't have her dog on the leash, which she's breaking the code of the park or whatever, they would come and question him again about why he called. Yep.
What are you doing that makes you so uncomfortable about
Yeah.
that door?
Well, how many times have we seen videos where people call the police and they end up getting shot?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's kind of like the thing that Derek was saying earlier. Is his friend called the cops because his cars were hit. The cops come and touch his gun and was like, "What are you doing? Who are you?" That's bullshit.
Wow.
And he was the only man on the scene. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not like you didn't know who was the guy because the guy called, gave his name. So, it's just bullshit.
And it's like the automatic approach. Just put a hand on the gun, like, bro.
Well, all right. So I mean, with the George Floyd thing, it's like we're gonna keep talking about the same thing if we, because it's an ugly incident, or not even incident. It's just an ugly situation that happened that these motherfuckers, or this dude. Actually, it's like 4 people or 5 total.
It's 4.
4 total.
Cops?
Yeah.
4 cops?
Four people had the chance to save this life. All it took was probably one person to voice it out loud that was in blue. You know what I mean?
Right. And they always talk about, sorry, Derek.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
They always talk about don't let one bad cop spoil it all. But if any of those cops were good, they would have made him get off of him.
Yep.
There's no such thing as a good cop.
Yep.
If you sit there and you're letting this bad happen, you're not a good cop.
You just underestimate blue loyalty,
Yeah.
bro.
Plain and simple. If
I was gonna say,
someone-
biggest gang.
You're a good cop. All that shit don't matter. What's loyal is your community, because they're the ones that's gonna be there at the end of the day. Fuck all that shit, because when you stand up for us, we're gonna stand up for you. None of those guys in blue, that blue line is created by them. We didn't make that shit. That's their line.
Yep.
We didn't make that shit.
They're the biggest gang in the world.
When you're doing shit like this and you're fucking us up and everything like that, and nobody's standing up for us, that means none of them are good. You want to talk about when you see that shit happen, they're putting their guns out, then you take your gun out, you put it on us. You put it on them, you put it on us. That makes you the good cop. You tell me to cut that shit when you see the shit. Call it out as soon as you see it immediately.
Exactly.
When we're protesting, we all put guns to us, you put guns to them. If you show them, we're gonna defend their rights.
Yeah.
You want to talk about good cops, let me see it.
Exactly. Something that I have been seeing and I feel like is important to address together is, and it did come from a bunch of white people. I will preface it with that. But why didn't the person recording or anybody standing by push him off or do anything to help or whatever?
Did y'all not see him try?
Nope. For the same reason that this man was murdered. They would have pulled and shot them because a majority of these people were black. They are also in fear of their lives. Of course they're not going to fucking intervene because you are murdering a man in front of them.
And then even when the dude that was recording, almost tried to step in.
It was a girl.
No.
Yeah.
It was a guy too. Trying to step in?
No, the girl was recording. The guy was stepping in. It was like her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In the video that I saw, was a guy recording.
I think there was a guy recording because that's the same dude who told the kid who called the police. He said, "This is why you called it. This is why this is happening. Take your ass back inside."
This is
Yes.
what they fail to realize is eventually we're gonna get so angry we're not gonna be afraid of the bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, it needs to be seen as a unified front. You know what I mean? We need.
How armed these gangs are. They're the reason why they can't get rid of them.
The worst thing that to me, like with this whole thing that I've been seeing, like one of them, I don't want to call it a meme or something, but there's a picture someone shared. Everybody wants to keep showing or sharing that the racist people trying to divide. The ones that are like, like the picture that I saw, it showed like it was like a arrow pointing at his nose and his mouth, and it's like, you want to tell me that this N-word couldn't breathe?
Yeah.
All right. You have the other one where they're like, all lives matter. That right there again, you're diminishing what the whole point of the rioting, the whole point of these fucking peaceful protests that led up to this that got us damn near nowhere, because the second another one dies, we set back to step one. Every time.
The all life matter thing started from racists.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, well, our lives matter too.
Yeah.
No,
Just diminish it.
that's not where that happened.
Because all lives matter doesn't matter until Black Lives Matter.
All
Yes, and that's
They were trying to spin it that we were saying that our lives matter more than
exactly. But you know what that shows you? That shows you inferiority, like the mindset of inferiority. Like you already in a sense like the how do I say this? Like in the general consensus of things, like people always put the white man on top, right? Like in conversation, like they're like, oh, this is what like whoever Europeans or whatever have. So you mean to tell me that the one time or what for whatever reason people unify and say Black Lives Matter, and that's across the board. You had Spanish, white, black, Asian descent, and all that. Everybody saying it, and then you have a group of white men saying all lives matter. No, the whole thing about Black Lives Matter is that we fucking count too. We count.
I don't think it was inferiority. I think that was a good spin of a story.
Well, no, I think it honestly was like, oh, the spotlight's not on us. We're not giving you no shine.
I think it was the opposite. How do you make other people not join that movement? They're telling you you're not working.
Yeah.
So
So.
now those blacks are by themselves.
I got one more thing to go off of what you brought the whole.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
So, and then what about the one that says this is obviously about white people because we're not gonna make that. Black lives matter to black people only when white people kill them.
I was about to say that.
Mm-hmm.
That is literally diminishing any murder that happens.
So Corey, hold on. I'm gonna have to counter what you just stated. You would be surprised the amount of black people that are Black American and aren't Black American that are against black people. Not against, but like are like, oh, but stop with the boo-hoo. Like, you say that, but we live in this system.
They don't.
Yeah.
They're so brainwashed. They don't even fucking realize that shit.
Hey, so
they're brainwashed and shit. Like those are the same people that hate black people, bro.
But that's like you remember not too long ago we had the podcast where it was like we were talking like politics and the black guy was asking or somebody was asking what do we feel about reparations.
Right.
And then the dude was like, "Oh, I'm from Congo or something, so it doesn't even matter to me. Boo-hoo for you." I was like, "Oh, well, I don't want a handout, but at the same time, wrong is wrong. You got to make shit right." And that's what I'm saying is like, so like a lot of the times where like you said, you thought it wasn't made by a black person.
Yeah.
That easily could have been made by a black person, easily.
Yeah, and it's like
Well, if it was made by a black person, it should have said black lives don't matter to us themselves.
No,
black women don't matter to black people.
No, if you have an argument or something that, like a point you're trying to get across, you're going to try and to
uproar.
You're gonna try to appeal or connect with the group, not just a specific demographic of the group.
Yeah.
You want the whole group.
And let's be honest here, right? There are a lot of black people who hate other black people.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of black people who are not comfortable being black. You know what I mean? So
No more.
no. So I was just saying, like, it's not justifying anything, and you don't have to be black to support what the fuck is going on right now. You don't have to be black to speak up. I don't know, just like Becca was saying earlier, I might not know exactly what a black male or even a black female goes through day to day with the cops and shit, but I have been experiencing it for the past 10 years of my life dating a black man. Knowing wherever he's going, if he gets pulled over, I need to know where he's at. Is he going to be able to call me if they're fucking arresting him? Are they going to beat the shit out of him? Are they going to shoot him because he's driving a nice car? They're going to think he stole it. Like, all of that shit affects me. And then, in tail, affects my daughter. Like, I might not know firsthand, but I'm dealing with it with him right now. I see that shit. I'm not blind to it. Just because I'm not black doesn't mean I don't know it exists.
That's like when I get pulled over and it's like license or registration, right? I give them my license, my registration, and they're like, "Is this your car?" Didn't you just fucking read the tag and you?
I know. There's a reason you pulled me over, dude. Like, you pulled my tags before you pulled me over, ass.
Yeah, man. What the fuck? Don't be an asshole about it.
Hold on. I'm sorry to cut you guys off. How are we looking on time?
We're good.
How's everybody feeling?
We're at it.
I got like another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, go ahead, carry on. I just wanted to make sure we're all still.
But back to what Corey was saying with that Black Lives Matter thing, like why
Well, that's hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off. Isn't
You live around black people more or less. Like it's built like that. They segregated us into the black community, so if you're only around black
What?
people.
Yeah. But it's the same argument. Like
Who kills the most white people? Other white people.
wasn't Neil deGrasse Tyson wasn't Neil deGrasse Tyson like white people commit crimes and white people the most? So what's your point?
Right. I don't know if it was Neil deGrasse Tyson, but like, yeah, I don't hear that argument. You know why? Because it's like, well, yeah,
It's a
the
non-factor.
cops are also the ones killing us. But you
It's
guys,
a non-factor. It doesn't matter.
like, but like you guys are fine because you guys don't have to worry about the cops. So you feel it's like, oh, it's only a black problem because black people are just tired, like, are just complaining. No, like it's exhausting being black. It really is.
well, that's
It's so exhausting.
it's so shitty to have to say that. You know what I mean? Like,
But like, is it not?
Time.
I mean, I wouldn't say exhausting. Like, no,
Like, every
just
time-
no. Like, listen, like, you have to look at it as right. Like, we are who we are, regardless. So in that, wait, are you talking, James?
No.
Oh, I thought you were talking. We are who we are. So in that, we have to take whatever struggles come our way, but we have to handle it with like I don't want to say a grace about it, but we have to handle it amongst ourselves with some sort of a dignity of some sort, right? So when we face these ugly trials and stuff, and all I do when this shit comes back around, I'm like, man is damned to repeat history every fucking time.
I'm so tired of us having to struggle gracefully. We've been struggling.
No, I get you. Time out. That's why I was saying like earlier, I'm so torn on the shit. Like I'm like, the high road is no longer it is no longer feasible. This does not work. We cannot keep saying, "Oh, we want justice," and then it's not had.
Yeah.
Like justice needs to be had. When do we have our victory in court?
Sorry, Derek. Sorry. That's what the
Good.
point I was making earlier when I got cut off about the corporation shit. So I was saying burn all the corporations and all them down only because their CEO and shit are the ones who push the laws to make those criminal laws to fuck us over. And when the criminal laws don't fuck us over and it's benefiting, not even benefiting, like we die from it, and then they don't, then it's like, oh, those laws wasn't made for him.
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm
So
with you.
now, you go after those corporations, those CEOs are gonna have to fold.
Yeah.
You're fucking up your money now.
Yep.
Yo, also,
How the fuck is that they can get money out of our communities
I
for
tried
over
another
20, 40 fucking years, and then somebody died and they can't even say, yo, that cop fucked up, but you can eat from our community? I mean, yeah, it's not your job to say it. When you're helping push laws and bank it and put the money to these laws, speak up, man. It's fucked up. Speak up.
It kind of sucks that like if this was like an insurance thing, being black is a pre-existing condition.
yep,
Like like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically.
So I was just thinking about this. So I think, there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know what to do. How can I help? I don't know, blah, 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 all this stuff, right? Just speak up. Exactly. Like, just fucking say that this is wrong and we know this is wrong. And, I'm down for exposing the racist motherfuckers that y'all got in your lives.
Fucking vote, man. Like how did this governor like do like
But-
these laws
but-
let these cops go so comfortably?
But
Because he's a racist governor. It's not like they didn't know.
yeah, but I yes, like look at when we fucking voted. Hillary Clinton won majority, and then all of a sudden Trump's president. Like, how the fuck does that make sense?
Because they voted for a Reagan. Freaking Biden is going to be running for president. The dude in the Reagan era was more ridiculous and more strict against black people than Reagan.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Dangerous people for the black community.
expose,
Most people in jail are from him.
but we just have to expose shit, right? Like, I've been seeing on Facebook a lot is people posting like, look at this racist motherfucker, like, and then like sending screenshots to these people's jobs to get them fired. That's what we need. We don't need racist motherfuckers working in customer service or working in the fucking like we don't need them.
We don't need them being our doctors. We don't need them being our judges, our lawyers, our police force.
Yeah.
A claim or not.
Yeah.
Timer, he said.
Like, are you gonna racist determine if I can freaking get a claim?
So,
Or
can I?
Like,
Oh, go ahead.
no, don't do that.
I wonder how many people didn't get organs because of racist.
Racism, yeah.
Well, that's why I refuse to donate my blood to Red Cross.
Why? What's the
Go look it up, bro. Look up Red Cross history with black people.
Why you kept my Google?
Yeah, just tell us.
Okay, so I think what was, do you remember? It was
Real
like,
quick.
it was something 20, like 1620 or some shit, 1920, something 1920 maybe. So, anyways, Red Cross used to have this rule in place where black people couldn't donate blood because they weren't human. Okay, so since we didn't count then, you ain't getting it now.
Yeah.
Right.
So
They would refuse to infuse like black blood into white people or however. I'm like, okay, then my shit ain't good for you now then. I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah.
Like we need to make like when lines are drawn, we need to make that clear on our end too. The line is drawn.
You guys made that line. That's why I was saying, like, all those white-owned businesses, if we have to burn them down. When those CEOs aren't speaking up for us, burn it down. You can't feed off of us.
So let me ask you a question.
You're not
So this
helping.
is a whole
Hold on
different
to the
thing.
properties we own. Don't sell them to these big white corporations.
Yeah, and then
No,
what I'm gonna
let's
say,
have black businesses.
Okay, so let me ask this. Okay.
You can start, let me just point real quick.
Go ahead.
Because you're not going to burn down the AutoZone. You can start like a black version of an AutoZone on that property. Sure, they're not going to give you.
Corey, but that's the thing. You need to get that startup money and all that stuff, right?
Through the banks that
Through
are
the
white.
through the bank or whatever it might be. So you,
A white bank.
that's what I'm saying. If you trying to go black owned or black everything, it's very difficult.
Possible.
It's very difficult.
It
So.
is. And you know what happened to the last town, that last city that had like really black owned?
They burned it?
The government burned it, yep.
What? For real?
The government burned it, yeah.
Well, what was it? Do you remember where?
It was like 1850s, and it was like
1850s.
What's it
Look
called?
up.
It'd be the T, right?
1850s.
No, is that
No.
that?
I know what you're talking about. Where they
Oh, well.
the white
It was like it's called Black Wall Street, right?
the white mob burnt down all the black businesses. Right?
Okay. So let me throw the scenario at you guys or ask what you guys think about it. Okay. So with the rioting that's going on, which I think we all agree it needs to now start to sway a little bit more towards the physicality of things rather than the peaceful stuff, because the peaceful stuff's not working. Right.
We tried being
So when we start to talk about this, right, where
Tulsa. That's what it's called, Tulsa.
Tulsa, yeah.
the issue at hand with rioting in your own neighborhood, like we said, you're going to be destroying or possibly destroying your neighbor who is like you or looks like you. You'll be destroying their business. Now, when a business can no longer maintain or repair or pay for whatever it is, rent or whatever, they have to sell, right? Mm-hmm. Or it gets foreclosed by the bank. Now the bank has the right to the land. Sorry. With that, the bank now more likely than not you might see who, like, to get that land or to get a new business there. Potentially it'll be a white person, right?
Well, I'm gonna go with 90%.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like you're more likely to not see someone of your demographic. Mm-hmm. So now you gave an in of a sort for the next one to swoop in or the next one to take the next spot. Just like you talk about the AutoZone and all that stuff. AutoZone, yeah, of course, it's not a black-owned business, but it is in a black neighborhood. The money does circulate from black people, right? So now, what are your thoughts on rioting and burning down or destroying black-owned businesses, and the step after that, the possibility of a white a white owner or even a Spanish or whatever, but someone that's not like you coming in.
That's why when they had the LA riots, they made it clear as day, like they would write black-owned business, or black-owned. You guys ever seen The Hate You Give?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know when you're rioting and it says black-owned,
Yeah.
let it go?
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be.
But
That's how it's supposed to be.
yeah. But I think right now, you know, at this stage where everybody's at, they're just done. They're fucking tired. I don't give a shit anymore. I need attention. I'm gonna just go. And it's like that's not the mentality to have, but how can we sit here and say that's not right? You know what I mean?
That is the mentality right now that we need to have. Burn it all down. I'm tired.
Listening.
It's time for y'all to hurt.
No, I'm
That this is what it has to be taken, but
Yeah.
nobody listens.
I was saying to your point about not hurting the black businesses. At this point, they don't give a shit if you own white or black. We need to burn the city down so we can build it back up the way we need it done. That's what needs to happen right now.
But that's no, stop. Even in that sense where you're speaking, you're coming from a good place, but you're speaking in an ideal situation or ideal world. That we have to face reality here. That's not gonna happen. If we burn it down and it comes back the same way for us, no, never. That won't happen. Because look at it. As long as there's a way to profit, they're gonna find it.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's why people aren't giving a shit if it's a black-owned business.
Yeah.
They still have hope that this is going to make some sort of change.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? So hold on. Somebody shared something about looters. I don't know who it was. When they would, do you remember who it was? They were talking about how like the people were like, well, these people are just opportunistic. They're just looting to take shit. I don't remember who it was, but whatever.
Opportunistic. The whole system takes advantage of black people.
Well, hold on. In the same post or something, in the picture, it showed two black people in the background and a white lady walking out with like a handful of shit. But they only talked about the black people.
See the one with it was like a white person with like a cart, you know, those big ass carts.
I feel like she had like paper towels and shit.
Like 3 TVs on the bitch, and then one black guy like with like a microwave or something. They're like these thugs. Yeah.
What'd they say?
So to that point,
Yeah.
where, like you said, there's 2 black people in the picture and a white person, and no one talks about the white person. It's the same with the riots. Yes, there are black people, rioting and protesting and doing all this stuff in Minnesota, but don't for a second try to tell me that there aren't white people out here burning shit down just to blame it on black people.
Yeah.
Like a double agent. We said that yesterday.
So I said, hold on.
See the video, the picture of the undercover cop.
So I don't know. Hold on. I don't know if that's true.
We have to be careful
I don't know
with
if
that
that's
stuff.
true. But what I will say is when the riots first started happening, I told Derek that watch it come out that I didn't say a cop, but I said a white person started the riots so that they know that black people are angry. Yeah, let's do that. Let's burn this shit down because we're angry.
All it takes is one person to break something.
Yep, and then we're gonna do it together. But what if it was a white person or a white cop that was set there to infiltrate and like rile everybody up, start a riot, and now you're talking all this shit about how black people are thugs and look at these angry people breaking shit.
They like to use that word animal.
Yeah. But that's the other thing too is like, on Facebook, you see a lot of people so fucking comfortable behind their keyboards calling them fucking animals, monkeys, put them in cages. Look at this, look at that. Like,
all right.
Those are the people.
Kill the list.
No,
that was
but
too much.
those are the people that need to be called out. Like,
Yeah.
you should not be fucking comfortable enough to call another human being anything like that.
And, like, let it be someone. That's what I'm saying. It's like, I think for a lot of these issues is that, and I don't want to just pin it on white because I also have Spanish people that I know who also been posting the same thing, and I'm like, damn, is it because the person don't look like you that you're not as invested?
Yeah. So we have a question.
What's the question? Oh, we have a question.
How do you guys feel about the local protests?
Sorry, I'm finally here.
Hey, so Sarah, do you want to ask your question that you just posted?
I posted it on Facebook, so I can't see it.
Okay.
But I think it was like, how do you guys feel about the local protests going on? Like, not down where it happened, but like around here, like city to city and cost difference.
Absolutely needs to happen. We need to be unified.
Yeah, you need a united front. Now, what I will say though is we need to make sure that we do it the right way. I only say this, and I know in a prior like a podcast that we had before, I said when we protest, all it takes is for one person to go and start a riot, and that fucks up the whole cause of it, right?
Yeah.
And this situation, and I think this is why I keep saying that I'm so torn on it, is that this time, like from here on, I feel like it needs to get there. We need to be there all the time. Not up in arms or we're just always gonna start shooting motherfuckers, but you need to know we are angry and we're mad and we want our voices heard. And it's the beauty of it all though is like the people we're seeing is such a mixed bunch that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that, like that's part of the not good, but like this it's a positive that's coming out of it in a sense, right?
Yeah. And that's how you know that, you know, black people don't hate white people. Like, you know,
not all.
No, but I'm saying, like, you know, there was a narrative of black people hate white people, and every time you look at me, you think I'm gonna, like, fucking, you know, call the cops on you or something. But there's so many white people that are in the trenches with them trying to get change and, like, you know, trying to do this. So it's like, we need to be together. It's not about black and white right now. It's about we need to, I mean, it is about black and white because we do need to support the black community regardless of our skin color.
Thank you. That was put together very well.
Thanks.
No, with the whole thing that it's like we need to lift the black community.
Yep.
It's not a matter of it's their time to shine. No, let's work together to get everybody at least on the leveled ground. Like I don't know how many more deaths does it have to take before you start to see, like James said, you start to see gang members and all that unify and weaponize, and then we start storming city halls and government buildings because when the white people did it and they wanted their gyms opened and all that shit,
their nails done.
What happened?
Done, yeah.
There was no police presence heavy like that. But when we were walking the streets and going to like the governor and all, what?
One of the black senators walked in with a fully armed black militia.
Yeah, and he got flack, right?
Like, no, she I don't know what happened with her.
Yeah, no, people were saying like, oh, these guys are walking with weapons to bring her in. Is it that bad? Like, yo, how about the motherfucker who just walked in with 12 cops?
Yesterday.
Like, what are you talking about?
So on this, I posted something yesterday, and I think it's really important, and it's a good narrative.
Oh, let the white woman tell the black man what she thinks is important.
Well, it's more so for the masses. It's not for so, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, I see no color. So the thing I posted said,
that's complacence.
I see no color is not the goal. I see your color, and I honor you. I value your input. I will be educated about your lived experiences. I will work against the racism that harms you. You are beautiful. Tell me how to do better. That's the goal.
Yeah, I mean,
like all the excuses, and you're like, it's like blocked.
Yeah.
Blocked. That was good. It's like, what did he do? Blocked.
Yeah.
What if he had a gun? Blocked. Like all these excuses, like it's like blocked.
Yeah.
That's how I am right now. Any bullshit. If you disagree with any of my views on this shit, where my people are dying, yo, delete me now. Delete me. I don't need that shit. Because right now, this is bigger than me. Like, this is bigger than me.
Yeah, I'm tired of these black experts trying to tell us what we need to do. It's like, you don't live the black experience.
What we've been doing.
What do we need to do right now? Honestly, we might need to like start looking into our right to bear arms. This is the thing, like we should already be doing.
Yep.
We don't. Why is the right to bear arms a thing? So tyranny doesn't happen again. Well,
It's happening.
we're under tyrants.
It's happening.
Like we're constantly under tyrants right now. Every time we are secondhand citizens.
For real. Yeah, exactly.
Like.
Well, hold on. No, not even secondhand citizens, secondhand humans, bro.
Right. Like the tyrants are already here.
Who's the tyrants?
The system. Has the system not been like?
I just wanted to see where you're gonna go with it.
Has it not been like taking advantage of us this whole time?
Of course.
Can I ask you guys a question?
I guess.
Are we free? I don't feel it.
Nah.
So,
What is freedom?
If you guys was the president, right? Because Trump said, shoot the looters or whatever, right?
He's militarizing the police right now.
Like shoot the looters or whatever, right?
Yep.
And he put the National Guard over there.
I just really don't like talking about that idiot, man.
No.
Go ahead.
What would you guys do in this situation? How would you guys, knowing that a man was literally being as polite as he could fucking be while he's being murdered, and now this riot is going on?
Okay.
Like just riot.
So you mean you want us in the place of the president?
Yeah, like how would you guys address this?
All right, so we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down the list. James goes first, then Rebecca, then Sarah, then you, and then I'll go and Brianna. Go ahead.
Personally, I'd be like, look, I'm coming down niggas city. Talk to me.
That's the move.
What do y'all want? What do y'all need me to do? If he's president, that means the blacks voted him in too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
How can I help?
The ones from Florida did.
I'm supposed to be your leader, right? Help me lead.
Yeah.
What do y'all need?
Yep.
That's what I would do.
Okay. What about?
Let us at the enemy and talk to us.
Yeah. Rebecca.
No, I totally agree. I mean, that's the step is physically go there and be there and show that you're supportive and not try to make the situation worse. But beyond that, I mean, he's on Twitter all the time to further his agendas, right?
Yeah, we know he got time.
Using our platforms to spread the right message.
Yep.
Not, we're going to shoot the looters and we're going to add to the violence. But everybody take a second and let's listen to what these people are saying. Let's start asking them, what can I do? Why is this happening? Let me try to help you.
Go to his Twitter.
Hear what he said?
We're,
The looters who aren't respecting George's
yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now so we could read it.
You're an expert yet again.
Oh, you can just drag it over and share it, right? Like into the screen.
Yeah.
It's just like all
I
this,
don't want to share
all
all
this
this
posts
shit.
about Martin Luther King Jr. Same thing. Did he own it? No. Would he have? No. Would George have? No, probably not. He was about peace. That's been proven. I mean, the video was circulating. I assume at least some of you guys saw it. Talking about gun violence and all this stuff, and it's like, just because they wouldn't condone it, just because I don't condone it, just because a lot of us don't condone it, doesn't mean that it isn't necessary, and doesn't mean that we should be attacking the people that are rioting. All that does is escalate things and make it way worse. We need to be listening to the reasons behind why they're doing it.
Exactly.
Why guys are mad. Why everyone is mad. Because the only way this is ever going to get solved is if people open their ears and shut their damn mouths.
Yep. Everyone should be mad.
We don't need Malcolm. We don't need Martin Luther King right now. We need Malcolm X and Nat Turner.
Anything that's necessary.
We need them to leave us alone. Stop. What are you freaking bothering me for?
No, listen, and as angry as I am, and as violent as I want to be, I'm open to conversation. Don't get me wrong. If y'all want to have this conversation, y'all want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But don't get mad when I come at you aggressively, because now you want to listen because shit's on fire. What happened last week?
So.
What happened with Sandra Bland?
But wait.
Hold on. Let's not go off topic.
We can go down the fucking list.
When the boys getting shot because they were playing with toy guns.
Yeah.
I
I think.
When the cops arrived.
Yes, but.
A boy being followed home. And
Yes.
cold
But
blood.
hold on, listen. We can't take we have to take all of those, and they're all important. They all matter to the agenda that we need to fucking address right now. But we can't have the mentality that you guys didn't care last week. We need to worry about now. You need to care now. It doesn't matter if you didn't care last week or you didn't care a year ago.
It's not just that matters. Why are you caring when we fucking riot is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We didn't riot with Sandra Bland. We didn't riot when those little kids was fucking fucking drive by because they wanted to play with a beat gun.
You know
But
what?
you know why they.
We didn't riot when that nigga was in his house and got murdered.
But you know why the reason why that they care right now that you're rioting is because they have an opportunity to paint the picture of
Paint the picture. Yep.
look, you're thugs. What I said. I've been saying this all along.
So
Your
did you get the tweet that Trump put out? Could you find it?
He fucking posts a lot of stuff, so I
He
don't know
does,
which
but
one.
the one when he's talking about the looters.
Yo, I'm not afraid of being called a thug right now.
So let me. So
I'm right now. I'm okay with it.
Listen,
This one?
like Pop said,
what was that?
thug life.
It said something. He also
Hate
mentions
you
the guy.
give
Like he's like bringing shame
fucks
to.
everyone.
If
Thug
thug
life.
is
Right
the
now,
money.
Look what just happened in Louisville with 7 people shot.
right?
Thug,
100%. The hate you gave did this shit. You did this. We didn't do this. You created these monsters. Like, you want to talk about the monster that's coming out now? You did this.
But all I'm seeing is, like, Karen is a changed word for racist. Thug is a changed word for revolutionary.
Oh, so something that I just thought about is they said
Yeah.
is that they said that that Trump, Trump has been posting on Twitter or whatever, but he just
I dropped my phone. I'm sorry.
but he signed an executive order on like so people can't find censorship so that he can say what he wants and nobody can fact check him.
Wait, you didn't know about this?
Wait. Only for him or for everybody? Because
No,
wait. If he's stopping censorship of online, why can't we all? I shouldn't be censored either. If it's online censorship, it should be for everybody.
Sorry. Yo, look that up. It's real.
Yeah, it's
Fuck.
fucked. But yeah,
You're the child in the White House.
Yeah.
The
So
toddler.
hold on. So what? What would be the move as president? Who didn't say? what they-
Sarah's next. Wait, did Becca? You went?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Sarah.
I mean, I reiterate what James and Becca said, but I think we need more police reform too. I think if I was president,
That's what I was gonna say.
kind of like power, police would be required to have a lot more education in law and different things like that,
Yeah.
and they would have to have some kind of social justice background, some
Yeah.
kind of way of activism in the country.
Yeah.
They can't just go in being some, blue collar person that hasn't worked a day in their lives thinking they're just gonna, enforce the law.
Yeah.
That can't happen anymore. I think we've seen enough of that.
Mhm.
They need to actually know
Yep.
the law too. They should go to school.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Be educated on what you're doing.
What
Be educated.
What about you, Corey?
So pretty much how they said, like, put my feet on the ground, go there myself, you know what I mean, and get a sense of what's going on. But it's to the point where, like, okay, he wanted to send the National Guard in there to go after these people.
We're asking.
Fuck that. We're gonna send the National Guard to protect these people. The police is also gonna protect these people. You know what I mean? The police don't want it. That's what the National Guard is here for, because now that they follow what I say. You know what I mean? Like the army, all those military people, they follow what the orders of the president. So when they're going over there with live rounds because there's looters, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Like, yo, what about the live rounds that was supposed to happen when this motherfucker murdered this dude that was pleading for his life?
Mhm. Yeah.
You know what I'm really tired of? I'm tired of people saying that, like, the looters are doing something bad. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm not saying that I would be down there robbing Target or some local store breaking windows.
Yeah, you're gonna take your ass over to Whole Foods, right?
They're repeating history. Yeah, no, that
Whole Foods where it's at, bro. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go steal the prime rib. But, like, no, like, look at the tea party.
Yeah.
That was a riot. That was a revolt. They damaged property. They wasted a lot of money doing that.
Mhm.
But
They
look
ready to
what
boat
ended.
and
Like,
shoot.
No. I think, to like go off of what everybody was saying, all of this stuff is important. I think, the police reform, absolutely, 100%. I think also, with that being said, I also think that with the police, I think there has to be a level of history that they have to learn about. Not just the fucking shit that we get in school, because everyone gets different shit. And I was telling Derek, I didn't learn shit about Black history in school at all. Zero. We didn't learn shit about it. So it's like, that's something that is important. That's something that if I want to go and be a part of the police and be a part of making this community better and protecting these people, I need to know their history and what they've been through.
Yo, that's like ask somebody, yo, how do you feel about Malcolm X? And they're like, who?
Exactly.
Malcolm X?
No.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
It was about 100 years ago. Largest racist massacre in American history. Over 300 blacks dead. Their whole part of their city burnt down. All their businesses. Over an alleged black boy was hitting on a white woman.
That's so fucked up.
Yeah, it was almost like the Emmett Till thing, but
Yeah, only
worse.
way worse. They said they recently just found a mass graves. Like, this is the kind, like, because some black kid talked to some holier than thou, like, oh, this girl is so special because of her skin.
Hey, James, what
Because
color is
she
your girlfriend?
burns in the sun.
What race is your girlfriend?
My girlfriend?
Yeah.
South African.
Yeah, she's white.
No, yeah, he's right. She's African.
She's a white woman.
She's African American.
Yeah, she's white. What's the point?
Hey,
Yeah, not
White
like being
Rihanna. Hey, White Rihanna.
What?
Wait,
What race is your boyfriend?
Huh?
What race is your boyfriend?
He's African American.
Oh, okay, I see what's going on.
Uh-huh. Well, you wanted me to say black. Did you want me to say black?
No. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, I don't get what you. What was your point, Corey?
there's information going on here.
Yeah, I know.
Wait. I'm gonna make this clear.
Point you're trying to make?
I'm gonna make this clear. Me and Derek are against interracial relationships, so stop that. Okay? Cut that shit out. I'm kidding. Everyone should have mixed babies. That's it. And I'll say this out loud for everybody. Whoever you date doesn't make you less of a fucking person. If you are a black person and you date a white person, who fucking gives a shit? That doesn't make you less black because you choose to date outside your race, quote unquote. Like, that whole narrative needs to stop.
Well, that whole narrative is stupid. So
Yeah.
You have to date a black, the way I see it, you have to date a black woman because she's black, right? Did you fall in love, or did you pick your woman because she was black? That's, you see, I'm with you because of an obligation, not because I love you. I can make that argument very easily.
Yeah.
Dumb.
So, did you guys hear about? I know I was talking about it a little bit in the beginning about the 3 black men that were in the gym. Did you hear about that?
What about what?
So there was 3 black men that were in the they had an office space in a building, and in that building they had, like, you know, things offered to them, like amenities, like the gym, the pool, and all that kind of thing. So these three black men, entrepreneurs, had a business upstairs in the building, and they were using the gym. Now, I think initially the way that the guy, like, so it was like a white man walked up to them and was like, "Who are you? Like, why are you in here?" Right? And he said, "Why are you here?" And they said, "Who are you to come ask us that?" The guy's like, "Oh, if you guys don't answer my questions, I'm gonna call the police." The guy's like, "Just like you, we rent the spot. Like, we have our business is here. We rent a office space." The guy's like, "Well, let me see your badge." Who are you to ask for their badge? I think a big part of, like, what's happening is that people aren't being put into check or into their place when, like, with these things, like with the lady with the whole, like, it happened multiple times when the lady says, "I'm gonna let them know you're black." Basically, is what they're saying. That shit needs to be corrected. Huh?
The chick that let the white chick that let the black girl into her own building that she lived in.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
The white girl and the white woman was visiting. She didn't even live there.
Wow. Yeah.
About the one with the black guy who they tried to kick out the hotel.
Well, how about these ones? With the UPS and FedEx workers?
Yes.
There was one, there's one where the guy came outside and told the guy, "Oh, you better get your black ass off my property before I beat your ass." The guy said, "You ain't gonna talk to me like that. I'm a grown man." So the guy's like, "I'm gonna call the police." Now, mind you, all 3 of the guys, because, like, I don't know if it's FedEx or UPS that run that way, but you have 2 guys in the truck. You know what I mean? One runs the package to the door, gets back in, they pull up to the next one, and the other guy, like, however. So they recorded it and they stayed there and said, "You guys, like, I'm gonna call the cops." He said, "Go ahead, call the cops. We're gonna wait." So then when the cops got there, they had gone up to like maybe like a house or two, like to do more drop offs, but they stayed in the area. The cop gets there and the cop asks what happened, and the cop only took the statement of the white man. What was that?
Because it don't matter what we
Hold on. So in the statement, guess what he said?
What?
He said, yeah, I don't know why they're here. I don't know what he look. He looks like he'd come in and break into my house, and my wife is inside. Dude, he's wearing a fucking FedEx T-shirt.
Yeah.
He dropped the boxes on your stoop. What do you mean you don't know why he's here? But and then both dudes from FedEx ended up getting fired.
Did you guys see the movie Birth of a Nation?
The old one?
The original one?
I watched like most of it after you had first told me.
With the blackface?
Yeah.
Blackface?
Yeah.
So the point of that movie was the black man is here to rape your woman.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what we said. There's a smear campaign and install fear all across the board.
We're also there were also like blackface never pay attention to how they talk to portray that black people are slower than white people too. Like America has had a smear campaign against black people since we were brought here on boats. It started with us being not even a whole person.
Yep.
And then when that came
Before we wasn't even a whole person.
and then after that, it was we were slower than them. Then after that, we were drug dealers, gangsters, then rapists.
No.
Every time we prove them wrong, they make something else.
Yeah.
Now they have to go overboard because, in all honesty, like the world has realized black people move a lot of the culture. A lot of the culture is moved by black people.
Yeah.
And it's a scary thing to realize that, oh, shoot, Timmy across the street wants to be like Snoop Dogg. Oh, little Alice wants to date a black kid.
I thought he was done talking. You paused mad long.
Like they hate it.
Yeah.
We are more normal than them. We're, when it comes to art, when it comes to music, we are always pushing it forward. Like we are the revolutionaries and we are the innovators, and they hate it.
It scares them. Yeah.
Everything that they taught was wrong.
Yep, and to your point about, what they teach about the black community and, how awful we are and
It's 2 o'clock. Can I drink?
what monsters we are, they will never admit to how awful they are.
Exactly.
And how awful, all the awful things that they have done. All the things that are the same exact things they're accusing us of being, they are.
Yep.
And I say they when technically I'm a we too for them as well. But,
I was gonna say she said us. I
Preach,
heard it.
sister.
I heard her say us.
but that's the thing. It's like white people, myself included, because I've been there where, and I will admit to it, where I've been one of the ones that's like, well, let's wait for the facts. No, not anymore. Done.
Yep.
That has been instilled into me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it took me too long to realize what the problem with that was.
So
And I admit to that.
let me piggyback off of that when you're done, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead.
And I'm not proud of it. I wish that I had been, told a different story my whole life. And gotten more of the side of it from my dad's side of the family. But I didn't. And I'm not saying that my mom's side are bad people or anything like that. I'm not saying white people as a whole are bad people. I'm just saying that we need to own up to the shit that we've done and the narrative that we have spun, and we need to apologize for it, and we need to make up for it. We need to make this right.
And you're a case where it shows the growth, and that's beauty within itself. You learned life one way, and as you went on with your life, you gained experience, gained knowledge, and you had to make mistakes and get hit bumps in the road to learn from them, right? And even like with your own wording, your thought process had changed as you became more accustomed and more familiar with others in general, right? Now, when you said, oh shit, what made me say? Let me piggyback off of that. I forgot exactly what it was.
I actually don't remember now either.
Damn.
That's awful.
When she said, the facts.
Oh yes. So when we start talking about let's wait and see everything, right? I get that. That's us taking an overly cautious side of the perpetrator, of the cop or whoever. We're that's us already saying there might be something that this person did wrong already. Whereas to with the I don't remember if it was last month or 2 months ago, the cops raided a house, and it was the wrong house. But when they opened Breonna Taylor, when they kicked in the door, the boyfriend or the husband opened fire on the police like he is constitutionally, like he's able to do that. That is, if they come through your threshold unannounced, that is as an imminent threat. You have the right to protect your family and those in your household.
Yep.
He opened fire on the cops. They shot the woman 8 or 9 times, some shit like that. Brown. I think it was like seven or something. But anyways,
like 12.
So they shot him, and they were executing a no-knock search warrant. So you get the wrong house first off, and then the first thing they try to say, and I don't know if it was body cam.
She was shot 8 times.
I don't know if it was body cam or whatever, but one of the things you hear a cop say, go look at let's see if we can find anything on him. Mm-hmm. So your protection is to go and look and see what he did prior. Guess what? All his shit checked out. He had the right to own his gun.
Now what?
Also, Derek, something that from off of what you said,
Ah.
they've gotten so good. They're waiting for the facts is a dangerous term now because they're so good at manipulating the facts.
Yeah.
The reason why these racist things go
Racist.
because they spent 200 years
That's a good word.
working on stories.
Yep.
Yeah, look at like the
Fucking
bring up old stories.
Like the scariest things were for one of the things that they do to white girls. They say, "Hey, look, that's the monster right there. That black boy right there. He's gonna do horrible things for you.
Yo, why every time they
He's
go
gonna
in?
take your purse.
Yeah.
He's gonna hurt you. Whatever. Like, so all these women are grow up terrified of black men.
Yeah. How come every time, like, you know how when they do the post, like when they show you the picture of, like, say like an incident happened, and every time it's like the guy, like, say it's a black man or a Spanish person or whatever, the picture that they post up is kind of like it's unfavorable.
Yeah.
And then with a white person, it's like them graduating high school or college. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry, the kid who just shot up the movie theater. Why are you showing his graduation?
It's all media.
You know what I mean? Like, show the camera footage of him walking in with the fucking gun in his hand. Show that.
I think manipulation is a good word for it because, like, look at George's past. He had a bad past, had been in jail and stuff, but he had moved for a better life. Or even, what was it? I don't remember his name. I always murder the pronunciation, but it was the March one where the 2 white guys chased
Oh,
him.
Ahmaud Arbery.
And they try to bring up that he has a history of whatever he did. In
Stealing,
the past. It's
yeah.
how is that relevant in the
Stupid.
moment?
You don't get to go hunt someone down and shoot them like it's the fucking like the end of slavery. You don't get to go jump in the back of your pickup truck and shoot your revolver at somebody.
He stopped to look at it and build.
Yo, I don't give a fuck. Even if he walked out with something.
What are you talking about? You looked at a building. Okay, he has to die now.
Well, and that's the thing.
You can't even look at property. Like, come on.
The building that he walked in was getting like rebuilt or whatever, or renovated. Hold on, I'm sorry. The building was getting renovated, and you can see in the cameras that he definitely like looked around, right? But that shit don't matter. I don't care if he walked out with something. That is not your property, not your building. So you should just call the police and let them handle it. When you're taking shit into your own hand, this is another instance where someone should have got checked, and no one got checked. You only got arrested after the outrage of people, which okay, good. Like, you should have got arrested or whatever. Now they moved and arrest the neighbor that also went with them, because they're technically an accomplice. You left your household to follow these people in their truck to go check this out or to go do whatever, and someone died. So yes, you are an accomplice. I don't care if you got out of your car or not. you still was there for whatever reason. You weren't there to protect everybody. You over there recording it and stuff. So you got the guy who's in the back of his truck shooting his revolver at the guy, who also ended up getting shot with a shotgun. So you literally were also part of the hunting campaign. You know what I mean? So I feel like even now, like with the whole George thing, I'm like, you're only arresting these people or making arrests after the outrage. Why are you not making the arrest off of the general issue? You see that this man killed somebody, they should be in jail. Or you know what I mean? Like, due process. Like, go investigate. Obviously, in this video, there's clearly an arrest that needs to be made.
You should have been arrested on scene.
On scene, yep.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm just saying, you do your steps in your due process. Like, show us, like, let us know, yo, we're trying.
Yeah, or we hear you. That's all. We hear you. This is
Because now, from when this shit first started or went on, now you're just doing damage control.
Yep.
There is no proactiveness in what you're doing. You're
being
just fixing shit. Reactive, exactly.
Yeah.
So the wife to the cop just filed for divorce.
I don't give a fuck.
But wait. Hold on. That was.
Even that is like, oh, why? Because you don't want to be hassled?
Yep, because she did it on She did it on television.
Did she really?
They were interviewing her, and she goes, "I'm filing for divorce," and her attorney says, "We're putting in the paperwork after this meeting."
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
So.
Even that is a move for media. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
To protect her from getting hassled by all these people who are upset over this.
Listen, that dude is lucky he didn't end up dead like that first night when they got his address, bro. Because the protesters ended up at his house, and when he was ordering food, they were stopping the people from going. They're like, yo, you know this is the dude that killed him? And the people would turn around.
But I'm glad.
I'm like, you're lucky they didn't burn your shit down.
Like, have y'all heard of any of these any deaths in these riots?
No, I did hear yesterday that somebody got shot though.
By the cops?
Yeah, I've heard about these people getting shot.
Yeah.
It was a looter, right?
I've heard about a lot of tear
Well, if they
gas.
get shot by the cops, okay, we'll take it. But I think he was asking more so like, did you hear violence amongst the looters or amongst the rioters? You know what I mean?
No, I haven't.
The riots.
Yeah.
From that.
I know
Oh,
that.
Did you
I
guys
know.
see that video?
Which one?
It was the white woman pretending to be disabled. She was like white in her.
And she
mid-thirties,
stabbed the person?
stabbing people.
Yo, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, that's
I
fucked up.
I did not know about this.
Wait, is that in Minnesota?
Stabbing
Yeah.
people as
Oh,
they're coming
shoot.
out, specifically black people. The white looters were just running past her.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay. That's crazy.
What would you
Hold on. What, Becca?
I said, and what happened to her? I wonder.
Nothing.
Nothing. She's handicapped. What are you talking about? She's
Now she
crippled.
really needs that wheelchair.
Yeah. Shit.
But like law-wise.
You know she asked me for tea.
Probably not. Right.
Um,
And Derek, to comment on your point earlier,
I'm
when you,
pretty sure committing a crime.
James, Jesus.
Sorry, I didn't hear what she was talking.
sorry, I don't know if my audio is weird. Sometimes my phone is not great, but to your point earlier when you said that the wait until we get the facts is a valid argument to a point.
Mhm.
That's the part that, like I said, like coming from my background where that's kind of the narrative,
Yeah.
and it is so much across the U.S.
Yeah.
What people fail to realize is that it's the narrative for a white person.
Exactly. I was gonna. You're taking the side of the cop. You know what I mean?
Huh?
You're taking the side of the cop. Like, hold on, he might have did this for the right reason, but wait, in this situation, what did this guy do? We're not talking about his past because I can go back and look on some of these cops who probably were fucked up children who did some shit as teenagers. Like, that don't mean that's what you don't die for your prior shit. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be paying for your prior shit. You should be paying for what you did wrong at that moment.
Yeah. But then when the situation's reversed, it's okay, we're gonna detain him first, and then we're gonna figure out.
Yes.
this and that.
You want to tell me that they're gonna detain all these people shooting up schools and stuff, but you can't bring one black man in? You like, what the hell? You know, and that's the thing is like,
A black man.
oh shit,
begging
yo,
for you to tip knee off his neck.
yo, I just remembered something. Even in the situations when there's a shooting or whatever kind of like mass, whatever, how many times do you see the media take a day or so when it's a shooting? But the second there was like a gang related thing or a violent something that was inner city, they released the person's picture right away. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like I said that before though. Like when it's
like a mugshot.
Yeah, no, well, they just want to make sure like someone's daddy's not a lawyer. That's why they wait the day or so to get the background on if it's like the school shooting or whatever. Most of the time, I'm like, yeah, that's a white person. That's why there's no picture out right now.
Or it fits their narrative. Blacks are violent and dangerous.
Yeah, just like the angry black man all the time.
Yeah, the angry black man. That's like the go-to. Like, yeah.
Well, now we are very angry, and they're gonna see that, and that's the thing. What Sarah said earlier, the protest and stuff needs to be on all fronts. It needs to be every city. It needs to be all the time, and everybody needs to be vocal about like how they're feeling. We're not asking everybody to get up and go riot or march, but
Tomorrow.
say it again.
In Boston. There's a protest tomorrow in Boston.
Yeah, no, Boston just had like 900 and something new confirmed cases of corona. I'm not going out there.
Who?
Boston?
I think I just
I can't. I got a kid. I would love to, but
yeah.
I can't risk it.
I want to, but I think if we didn't have Kaylee, we could because
I'd be
we
out
wouldn't
there.
have any like.
Oh, by the way, can I just say this real quick? Black people, I am sick of seeing your kids in these fucking riots. There is gas and fucking bullets bigger than my fuck this.
Fuck this. What's that?
I don't know, Corey, if I can agree with you.
What's up?
Like, yo, I saw something shot the other day.
Uh-huh.
It was.
He said, fuck this.
Maybe 3 inches.
Uh-huh.
But it was like this. It was blue. It was like it was this blue. It looked like a shotgun shell. It
Oh,
was blue,
wow.
And then I had like metal behind it where it was shot from, like from the.
Oh, yeah. Time out. Yeah, those are the salt salt
Yo,
things.
if that hits a little kid in the head, they're dying, bro.
No.
You in there, you're dying. What are you
Wait. When the salt shells or whatever, when those pop, they disperse, and it's like a powder. It's gonna hit you forcefully, but
No, nah. They was shooting duds.
Derek, there's a...
show me what you like a rubber bullet kind of deal.
Nah, bro. It's.
All right, yo, find it and send it to us. I want to see it.
I have to find it.
Can I ask a question real quick? Do you guys remember when the people were protesting at like this? I don't know if it was like the state building or whatever, and they had their guns.
Yeah.
Was there?
Occupy Boston?
Was
No, that's what you're talking about. I know you're talking about. This is recent. Okay.
this motherfucker said Occupy Boston? What?
Well, you're saying rioting.
No. I'm saying like when they were at the state.
The Congress thing, right?
Yeah, they had like their rifles and all that, and
Yeah.
you could see like the police were just kind of like standing at the distance and like letting them riot or protest. However, did you see any tear gas or anything like that used?
Nope.
Nope.
What was the other thing that the barricades? Did you see that?
Nope.
So you're not containing a group that could get lethal and deadly immediately if they just decide to shoot. You're not containing that, but you're containing people who are. I mean, yeah, it was a bigger scale, but at the same time, these people were walking and had their signs and everything was peaceful, but there was rage behind the peace, right? So why you start shooting canisters of tear gas and all that other stuff into this crowd?
Yo, so many people. People weren't doing anything. I was watching live videos. People were just chilling, like, hands up, don't shoot.
Yeah.
What's his name? George Floyd. And
Say it.
Like, cops are pointing, like, yo, over there, and they're like taking aim and just shoot.
Meanwhile, there were white people at that protest in Minneapolis with assault rifles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I saw a video yesterday of people going to the National Guard, and they're talking to and this guy's like yelling at them or whatever, but like all their fingers are on the trigger. All their fingers are on like ready to shoot, bro. Like that shit's fucked up because like you said, when it was the other people revolting and everything, no fingers was on triggers, the guns were laid back, chilling.
And you know the people that were fucking protesting this whole we don't have to wear a mask and let us out shit, they were like in my eyes actively putting the community at risk because there's this fucking disease out there and you're fucking sneezing and spitting on the ground like this is a fucking joke.
Supposed disease.
Bitch,
Oh, Corey.
take your ass to the back. Fucking conspiracy theories.
It's not a disease. Let's put it at that.
Wow, Brown, you people just can't stop telling mine to go to the back, huh?
Oh, I knew it was coming because I'm white.
Whatever. Everybody's like.
But yeah.
The
Yeah. So the other thing that we were talking about was how it happens a lot, right? The cops. The first one.
Oh no, I was good. Whatever you want to go on.
What else? Does anybody else have anything that like they want to talk about, touch base? I mean, there's a lot.
I had a topic last week. I don't know if you guys erased the board.
I gotta actually go. I was like just finishing up this, and then I was gonna head out.
Yeah, we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Alright.
I feel like it was a good conversation overall. I mean, is there any other like major points or something that you guys want to throw out there? You're more than welcome to do that. James can you could check out.
Not everybody
Hold
at once.
on, Sarah. What?
Yeah, I was just thinking about how universities really like sweep things under the rug. So like, I applied to the University of New Hampshire. Before I had applied, I didn't really look into the demographics of who attends it, but I found out it's pretty whitewashed. I got denied. My boyfriend goes there. He's 100% Italian and Irish. He's a very white guy, freckles, you name it. Every girl there is, blonde, blue eyes. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. But when you can count 5 people of color, including Asian, including Hispanic, including Black, at homecoming, one of the biggest events that happens at a university, that's just mind-boggling to me. Like, how can you have such a progressive school that's so behind in diversity?
Yeah.
But then I apply to Salem State and I get in, and I'm almost like set back by the activism and the like social justice warriors that attend that school and the diversity that's there. But it's surprising because you go to UNH where it's super whitewashed, and then you go to Salem State where it's super diverse, but the Hispanic community at Salem State is racist towards white people.
That's nuts.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Not even the black people treat the white people like they do.
I was gonna say that to piggyback off what you said. I see that more. I see more Spanish people hating white people than black people hating white people.
Very true.
I see that. That's true. Valid point.
Well,
In their comments.
that kind of makes sense.
What?
That kind of makes sense if you think about the ancestry.
We've been killed by them.
No, right, but
And fucking, they're trying to genocide us.
With the Spanish and the Europeans have always been at war with each other. They were the ones who were fighting each other for land in the first place.
Yeah. And it's all about like the immigrant status too. Is like white people are quick to say, "Show me your green card," or "Fucking go back to your country." So.
And with us, we are used to being the disenfranchised.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do it to somebody else.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So of course, like Spanish people don't like white people because the rivalry never went away.
White people don't even like white people. There, I said it.
No. It's not even that. It's that you're tired of the same shit from people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not only white people.
We're tired of the racist.
When you
and
hear the racist shit, is when everybody's just like that shit literally like fucking sucks the life out of the room or the fun. You know what I mean? Like you can't even. Huh?
It's exhausting.
Yeah, same thing with like having to have this fucking same shit to worry about is exhausting. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, for me personally, I think the black experience as a whole, like living as a black person, it's one of those things. It's one of those things where you have to. It's you take it as a blessing, but there's things that come with it, and just like with everybody else, there's things that come with being whatever they are. I'm sure all of us can speak to or speak of or think of a friend who's white and knows that they have the privilege and fucking hate it. Who's white and is like, hey, I know this is wrong. How can I do my part to help or even open up the conversation?
Exactly.
That's
Dating her, she can't stand it.
oh, shut the hell up.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
No, I didn't think you were gonna go and be a muffin.
But to that argument too, then it's
Talk
like
about
you also have how you said, being black is a blessing, but there's things that come with it. The problem that so many white people will not address is when when they say, well, there's things that come with being white too.
Yeah, yes. You're just trying to go out like what do you call it? One up, like a one up, right? That's what it is. Why?
Yeah, it's like everyone's trying to one up each other. Like, no.
This nigga.
It's not even. It's even worse. They're not validating.
Don't have it that bad.
Hold on. I got a question.
What happened?
Brianna, Sarah, and Rebecca. Y'all struggles growing up as white.
Brianna, that don't work for Brianna. Really.
Go.
I was gonna
Go
say.
ahead, Becca.
I'm like, what are you talking about, Corey? They
Go
grew
ahead,
up-
Becca. Take it.
All right, so I do not know a whole lot about my black heritage, my native heritage. I don't know the struggle of being a black person. I feel so unbelievably disconnected from that side of the family because of my skin color. And it's been that way my entire life. My own sister, okay, and we've come a long way. We've talked about this issue at length. But growing up, my own sister would shut me down, call me racist, tell me I didn't get it, I'd never get it, I'm the problem, and I would sit there and be like, why?
Yeah,
But there was never a conversation of this is why.
Yes.
And that's the thing, it's like, my white side of the family took me in more so than the black side of my family did. And
I never knew you was half black.
Yeah.
huh?
I never knew you was half black.
I am. Nobody knows. I mean, people
Surprise.
know, but it's like, that's the thing, is people look at me and they assume I'm just some white girl. And to some extent I am, but there's a lot more to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, when I come across a black person and they find out that I'm black, they're like, wow, you seem so white. And I'm like, yeah, I was raised primarily by white people. And
Yeah.
it's not my fault. It's the way that things turned out. And it's not that I didn't want that connection. It's that when I tried to get that connection, I was shut down.
Yeah.
Because I'm not black enough.
So wait.
Hold on, Corey, wait.
Wait, I have a question.
Corey got all these questions.
I have a question. Does that make her less black because she was raised by white people?
No.
No.
No,
What is blackness? I don't understand that.
But
That's a
because
weird word.
her skin color is lighter, that's how the black side of her family was treating her.
Well, let's think about it. If a cop pulls her over, he can see that, okay, there's black features in her.
No.
She's being treated black.
No.
That's the
No.
thing. No, they don't.
No.
They don't.
No, Corey. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like I've been pulled over and I've had a cop like look me up and down and ask me if I have alcohol or drugs in the car, and he'll stay and he'll pull up a second cop car.
Yeah, it's because you look
Like, why? 'Cause
Spanish.
I have curly hair and I have a tan.
You look Spanish.
Yeah.
No, and that's another thing.
You
I
gotta
had
be
my
moving
dad
coke
tell
or
me,
something.
Because I share Puerto Rican memes or memes in Spanish, he'll tell me, "You're not Spanish enough. You're not Puerto Rican. You weren't born."
Oh
in
shit.
Right. And that's like the fact
Well,
that
we're not even on, right?
our own families don't see that this is a problem.
So, go ahead.
It's only making the situation worse.
Yeah.
And I spent, we'll call it, 15, 20 years, because I'm not going to claim to be some woke little 5-year-old that knew, about racism and all that stuff. But I spent such a huge chunk of my life shutting my mouth, not feeling like I had any place to say anything. And as far as, standing up for civil rights and the, the black side of my family and whatever, but that kind of forced me to listen more to the narrative of the other side of my family and let's wait for the facts and, but this and but that. And I didn't realize for a while that it was wrong. And then when I did, I still didn't feel okay speaking out about it because I knew I was going to take flack from probably both sides, because one side is going to say, well, you don't know shit about that because you're not black enough, and the other side is going to say, you're white. Like, you're basically calling yourself racist.
Yeah.
There's no easy way to handle it
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you're half and half, especially when you look white and
Yeah.
can't openly identify as black.
Yeah.
I can't walk around and be like, I'm black, because
Yeah.
someone's gonna look at me and be like, huh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
And I think
it's like you just can't win.
Yeah, I think, for me, obviously I'm white. I have Spanish in me. I can speak Spanish, surprise. But it's like I grew up in the projects. I grew up in the low income. I grew up around black people. That was all I knew. So a lot of people would say...
You should have said minorities because there were Spanish there too.
Well, I'm saying a lot... No, but I'm saying because a lot of people would say, oh, you're acting black. I never got, oh, you're trying to be Spanish. You know what I mean? I always got, you're trying to be black. I grew up around black people. That's all I knew. That's all I was comfortable being around. I wasn't even comfortable of being around white people because I was like, who the fuck are these people? Why the fuck do they act like that? You know what I mean? Like, so yes, of course I might be acting black, but no, I'm acting about of how I grew up, what I'm comfortable with. So I might not know the struggles of a black person, but I have struggled. I had my own struggles, and I don't think I'm not portraying to be, this poor little white girl who was like stuck in the projects. No, absolutely not. I appreciate that I was in the projects. I appreciate that I had to do that. When I went to school in Boston, I was the only white girl there. I had to fight my way through 6th grade because I was white. You know what I mean? And that's like, I did it. I did what I had to do, but I didn't hate black people for that. Just because, it's like, just because you grow up in a certain area doesn't make you part of that culture, but it gives you an insight into it. I would never say that I have... Can you sit down? I would never say that I'm black. I would never say that. I will say I'm an ally, 100%. Am I acting black? You might think so, but this is me. This is who I am. This is all that I've known.
And yet again, what exactly is blackness? I hate that you're acting black. What's that mean? Because if you have vocabulary and you're in the black community, you're acting white, so I can't be educated.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no acting. This is who you are, right? And Becca, you have a burden on you that we'll never understand.
Mm-hmm.
You are the bridge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I'm trying to be now.
But you didn't know. So and I think that's, listening to Becca talk, I'm thinking about Kaylee. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I know, and I know that, you guys and like mom and dad would never tell Kaylee that she's not black enough. You know what I mean? So I don't even have to worry about that. And same thing on my side. Like I know my family would never be like, oh, you need to act white or you need to act Spanish. I know that at least in that aspect, Kaylee will have both sides and she'll know that she matters to both sides.
That's right. That's what we gotta let these babies know, y'all are black.
Yep.
We need to, yeah, exactly. Like you got to let them have their identity, like racially, like let them know this is what you come from.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let them know you are part of what's going to make this world great.
Yep. Like
they have to speak up
Yep.
too because they're both sides.
Even with Kaylee, it might seem silly to some, but we'll randomly be like, Kaylee, what are you? And she'll be like, I'm black, white, and Spanish.
No, she says I'm black, white, and Puerto Rican. That's what she says.
Yeah, she does. But I'm like, and we randomly do that so that we can instill it in her that you are these 3 things and it makes you who you are. It does, you don't have to be like, nope, today I'm white because I'm going into a freaking white store. I'm around black people. Hey guys, remember I'm black. No, that you are who you are. You are black, you are white, and you are Puerto Rican, and you need to be proud of that. You need to be proud that you have black blood in you. You need to be proud that you have Puerto Rican blood in you because that shit is important. That shit is good. Even the white blood, that, it came from your mom. That is important. You know what I mean? So we need to just teach these kids that I don't give a fuck if this little kid only has white blood running through them. We can be friends. If you only have black blood running through you, we can still be friends because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It's still red. It's all red.
Yeah. But it sucks, but it starts with the parents. If a child, I've worked in daycare for years. I'm working in early intervention right now. I see it firsthand when there's certain kids that will avoid unintentionally because they're fucking 2-3-year-olds. They're unintentionally avoiding each other Why? Because their parents, maybe intentionally, maybe not, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but somewhere in their home life, they internalize that it is not okay for them to play with people that have different color skin, or you're afraid of this one or that one. Like, I've seen kids literally avoid other fucking 2-year-olds because they're black or they're Spanish. Like fucking 2-year-olds sitting in a little white kid sitting in the corner crying because he's afraid of his friends. Like, that's bullshit.
Alright, I gotta go though.
I start walking across the street when I see old white people.
Alright, guys, bye. I gotta go.
Bye.
It was a
Bye,
fun time.
boo. Fuck you, bitch.
Fuck you, boy.
His girlfriend yelled at him. He got in trouble.
Oh no.
No, but and I think that's what's important is you need to start young, especially with kids. You start young and you tell them, you are beautiful the way you are, and you deserve to be friends with and talk to whoever you want. However they react, that's something that they have to fucking deal with, and it's not something that you did or something that you said. If somebody doesn't want to play with you because you told them that you were black, too fucking bad. They can go ahead and go home then, because you matter.
Go to the person that tells you that they like you.
Or bring me their mom, because I got some words for her.
Word, and that's the thing. Like I said, I'm mad enough to fucking hurt people, but I'm still open for conversation. You don't understand that? Like, yo, the other day I was telling James, like, he was telling me I sound stupid because thinking like hashtag it could have been me. Fuck that. I try to put a hashtag it won't be me. I'm not gonna sit there and beg for somebody to get me off my neck.
Text me.
Yo, I'm fighting for my life.
There was nothing.
No, at least he fought for his fucking life. I'm gonna go down.
He had to go.
For somebody to let me live. It's not gonna be that way. And if we gotta struggle for a gun, fine.
You said that?
For a gun, but at least yo, fought for his life. He didn't go down like that.
So when do we start to employ the Malcolm X version of everything?
Now.
Today.
Bennett's word.
No.
They're starting it.
Let's do it. Let's do it by any means necessary. Okay.
And if
Right.
white people were smart and white people want these riots and all this stuff to stop, they would just listen.
Yep.
They would start working on it immediately, and everything would end.
Yeah. Okay. So what I want to do, I'm not trying to cut the conversation off. I think we are going to stop the live portion now. And if we want to continue to have a conversation or whatever off air or whatever, we can do that. I just feel we're like 2 hours and a half in. So let me close that out and then we can talk off air. Guys, there has been a lot of points and things brought up that we had discussed today. I feel like it was a lot of that people just wanted to get off their chest, and I'm sure like there's some people who will resonate with what was said in this podcast. There's never a time where someone's skin color or whatever, like even your race, religion, or whatever, should be a death sentence. That's not okay. We tried to have as many different point of views that we could. We appreciate that everybody who did come in, tune in, and take part in the conversation. But we have to start somewhere, and we all need to do it together. To get change and to make change. But with that being said, this has been another episode, another installment of the With All Disrespect podcast. Thank you. See you later.